Welcome to part 3 of 4 on how to set up Forms-based Authentication, or FBA, in SharePoint 2016. In part 3, we will talk about the necessary edits that need to be made to the web.config file so that FBA will work. One of the tools that I'm using here today is a Forms-based Authentication Configuration Manager that was provided by Steve Petchka. I actually found this through a SharePoint blog by James Callahan, which you can do a search for if you'd like. If we open up the application for the Fba Configuration Manager, we'll first start off by putting in our web application URL. Of course, that'll be FBA, which we set up. You'll notice that you can select zones if you need to. In our case, we're going to keep that at default. And they have a sample configurations tool here, so you can select what changes or where they need to be made. In this particular case, we're going to be first making a change to our SQL connection string. So let's select that. And of course, when we come in here, we're going to change the FBA SQL to just FBA. And our connection string, our server name itself, we will rename for the server that we're using here. I'll paste that in, which in our case is the SP 2016 Dev1. Next thing, we need to look up our people picker wildcard. And within that, we're going to make a change to and make that just FBA. Next will be our membership provider. So we'll select our SQL member. And you'll see here that we'll need to make a change to the string name, connection string name to FBA. And the members will also be FBA. Again, we'd set all this up in our first two videos. Last will be our role provider. So let's go select our SQL role. And with that, we'll make a change and make that FBA for the connection string name. And the roles itself, it has FBA roles. We're just going to change that to FBA role. Again, the way we'd set it up on the front end. Next, we'll click apply, and it will take a timer job will actually go in place to make these changes for us. So next, we'll want to confirm that these changes have been made. So probably the easiest way to do that is just to open up the IIS manager. Go ahead and go to our sites. FBA, we'll explore. Go to our web config. We can just open it with Notepad. And the first thing let's do a search for a connection string. And if we do that, scroll down, we can see that it made the change to FBA. And we can also confirm that the FBA role was changed with an FBA connection string. If we scroll all the way to the bottom, we can see that the connection string was added for FBA, and we have our data source of SP 2016 Dev1. So the last thing we need to check is the people picker wildcard. Let's do a search. If we look at that, we can see that we have our key is FBA. So all the changes have been made for us to set up the FBA. So now we need to go in and make sure that our security token service application, that the web config file has been changed within that. So again, within our IIS manager, we'll go to SharePoint Web Services, security token service application, explore, and we'll go to our web config. If we scroll all the way down, we'll confirm that we have our FBA connection, data source SP 2016 Dev1. We have our FBA connection string name, and FBA role. Now that we've concluded making the edits to our web config files, that concludes part 3 in our 4-part series. Join us next time in part 4 as we take names from our spreadsheet and add them into our SQL database. Thanks for joining us. Looking forward to see you again.